Hey everyone, what's going on? It's your boy Krebsy Crypto, and for today's video we'll be going over some coins and projects and algorithms to mine with your budget graphics card. You could use 3 GB, 4 GB, or even higher, but I'm mainly going to focus on more or less if you're a budget miner, just like myself. I've always been on a budget when it comes to mining as such, and we're talking about post-merge here. So since Ethereum's all done and a lot of people are looking for something else to mine, this could also be for you as well. This could be some of these coins or algorithms or projects. Could be something of interest to you if you have a bunch of equipment sitting and doing nothing. You could easily go ahead and just start mining one of these that I bring to your attention. I'm going to be using two different pools to go through this. And the first pool is twominers.com, and the other one's going to be Rplant. And both these pools have a good selection of coins if you are a budget miner. If you're more so like a CPU miner as well as a budget miner, I suggest a pool like Zpool or Zergpool, as those pools have a wide variety of GPU, CPU, algorithm coins for lower end, higher end, or whatever you vary. I'm just kind of focusing on like the main trend coins and projects that are happening right now since the post merge of Ethereum happening, but we'll get right into that right now. So we'll start off with twominers.com here, and this is a pretty solid pool overall. It's one of the very first original pools that came along with mining, if I'm correct. And they have a lot of variety when it comes to like algorithms and depending on what your graphics card can handle. And they always keep up to date. They're adding new projects that are legitimate. They're not just going and adding everything that they can. They wait for some time and make sure it's legitimate before going and adding it. But if you come to the homepage here on twominers.com, you're going to see like the total hash rate of all their pools. So a handful of different ones here. But if you scroll down, this is where I'm going to be taking a look at today, is mining, and these are the pools. You could solo mine here also, but I'm focusing on like the pool mining aspect. So if you have more or less like a 3 GB, 4 GB card, this is more or less going to be a good pool for you as well, even if you have a higher end graphics card, because there are some higher end coins on here as you see. But if you have something in like the 3 or 4 GB range, you're going to have Ethereum Classic here. Obviously, that's one of the original ones that's going to be taking most of the hash rate right now, just due to like the post merge. Ethereum Classic is all ready to go with a lot of these Ethereum miners with ASICs and things like that. They just had to change to the ETC hash algorithm because this is an original fork of Ethereum from way back in the day. So not much has actually changed if you compare the two, Ethereum Classic to Ethereum. Ethereum itself has just taken off because it was its normal self. It wasn't like a fork, where this one was a fork and a group of different miners that wanted something different out of Ethereum, so they took and did that. And that's going to be more so like a 4 GB graphics card that you'll need to go ahead and start mining Ethereum Classic. With certain cards, and I believe it's AMD and with LOL Miner, you might be able to get away with 3 GB, but it's very hit or miss because they've added something. I believe it's like zombie mode or something like that, and that allows you to use older graphics cards when it comes to Ethereum Classic. But it's only certain models and brands. I don't have them off the top of my head, but last I read into that, it was with LOL Miner and it was with some AMD cards, if I'm not mistaken. The next one up, and obviously that right now it's number one for like the pool hash rate, because like I said, a lot of the Ethereum miners just transitioned over to Ethereum Classic. The next up is if you have a 4 GB card. This one's a little more heat intensive. It's on the Conceal algorithm, and this is Ravencoin, and it has taken a good amount of hash power with a lot of the GPU miners as such. It has been on an up and down trend. Like one day it was up 50%, next day it's down like 20. It's just a lot of fluctuation, which was expected to happen during this post merge because a lot of people are transitioning and trying to find their happy medium when it comes to projects and coins and profitability and such. But right now, unfortunately, I'll tell you straight up, a lot of the mining is not profitable, and that's just due to Ethereum being gone. So now a lot of this hash rate and power and pricing has to balance out, and us being in a bear market, that doesn't help things. But if you do have more of like a budget 4 GB card, like for example, I have a GTX 1650, that will be able to mine Ravencoin. So if you just have something lower end like myself, this is kind of like a coin to pay attention to and stick to. And even if you're not pulling in high profits, as long as you're pulling in a good chunk of Ravencoin, set aside in a wallet and see what happens in the future with it. Another one that is up for potential run here, or I think is just good to mine, is Ergo. There's been a lot of talk about Ergo in itself. Obviously, there's been negative talk when it comes to Ergo. So a lot of people think it was like a pump and dump and the people are gone with it. But I think the community has taken over with Ergo itself. So that way, like, it's becoming something actually. So a lot of the people with like a budget mining graphics card has went to Ergo, and I forget what algorithm it's on. I think it's Autolycos 2, if I'm not mistaken, which can be mined on some 3 GB cards, but mainly 4 GB cards. So right there, you have a few options right off the hop here that are just depending on your gigabyte of graphics cards. Unfortunately, with a lot of the market now and a lot of like the technology, it's outgrowing like that 3 and 2 GB range, which I used to talk about all the time. There's only very few coins like Vertcoin, I believe, is one of the last few left that you can mine with like a 2 GB card. There's also some other smaller algorithms and such, but that would be a long video if I sat there and rambled on about a bunch of these smaller algorithms. And you'll find those more or less on like Zpool and Zergpool. So like I said, if you do have a very low end card, Zergpool or Zpool is going to be your way to go, even with CPU mining. But if you have something in that 3 or 4 GB range or higher, these pools are going to be a go-to. So Ergo has a lot of good potential. They have a strong community behind it that really believes in them. So that's something to take into consideration. And you see the price point, and you can always check out the calculations with your graphics card, which I'll be showing you in today's video here. The next one up, this is more so if you do have like a higher end graphics card, is ETHW or Ethereum POW, which is a new fork of Ethereum that just happened right before the Ethereum merge happened. So this is going to be your freshest fork with the most up-to-date technology with Ethereum. Unlike Ethereum Classic, like I said, this was just most recent. They plan to bring dApps, NFTs, a whole infrastructure just like Ethereum did. And the price point is not really there yet because most exchanges don't allow you to deposit to sell it right now because there's no stable coin conversion. But I went over that in the previous video, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. And if you scroll down a little bit here, there's neoxa, which I've made a video on, and this is another KPOW algorithm coin. So if you do have a 4 GB, and I believe even 3 GB because it's such a new coin, that you're allowed to use like a 3 GB card on neoxa, just being like a smaller difficulty. It's fresh on the KPOW algorithm because KPOW used to be able to mine lower end cards, but like I said, with just a lot of difficulty and hash rate and power and technology, it has outgrown that. But when a new project gets put onto one of these algorithms, it's something fresh. There's no difficulty. There's not a lot of competition going on. So you can use more of a lower end graphics card, if you would say, like a 1060 3 GB or something like that. But I would always stick to using 4 GB when it comes to KPOW, because that's going to be like a go-to, if you ask me, when it comes to like 4 GB cards is KPOW algorithm. But that's just my opinion. The next one up is Flux, or Zcash, if you will, and this is on Equihash 125.4. And Flux has a lot of potential when it comes to like the mining, the community, the actual like technology behind it. It has been a front runner, and a lot of people think it's really gonna pop off. It's really gonna take off now that Ethereum's out of the way. But like I said, profitability is not really there with a lot of these projects and coins, just due to the fact of a lot of like the powers moving around. Price points are different. A lot of things are like hit or miss, and we're in a bear market like I mentioned. But Flux is definitely a good one. I believe you can do 3 GB. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's 4 GB only, but don't quote me on that. I have to check that out. I can just Google that quickly to find out. But yeah, Equihash 125.4. That's another strong one to do. And if you scroll down a bit more, there's Firo or Zcoin, and this is on FiroPow. So this is its own algorithm and its own project. There's been a lot of talk about this one potentially taking off and doing very well too as well. I believe it's had a run up in the past even. So now with a lot of like uncertainty with hash rate power, this might be a good potential to put your card to. I'm not entirely sure what the minimum is to mine it. I just know you're going to be safe usually at like 4 GB and higher with a lot of these algorithms. So I'm just kind of sticking with that when it comes to talking about a lot of these projects and coins. So right there, those are going to be like your main projects and coins that you want to focus on during this post merge, in my opinion. I made a previous video on like the Ethereum forks and things like that. So you can check that out if you want to stick to like an Ethereum based type mining. But this one's going to be more so talking about like these random, like not random coins, but projects that aren't really like out there for the big miners. These are out there for kind of like the budget or lower end miners like myself. So if you have like a 3 GB card, it's going to be very hit or miss in like the market right now, just because a lot of difficulty and a lot of power is jumping to these coins, which causes their DAG size to increase over time. But some coins are set up to only increase DAG size over every few years. Just like Vertcoin there, it's a fork off the very original Ethereum, so even before Ethereum Classic. And they made it so the DAG size does not jump up and increase every year or after so much power is brought into the market. It's every like 4 years that DAG size increases. I've made videos on that coin in the past, so you can go check those out if you want. But again, this is just for 2 miners, so if you do want to set up on like a certain pool, let's say Ethereum Classic or Raven coin, you just click on it and it's going to bring you to this page here. And it's going to tell you all your minimum payouts, how much pool hash rate's going on and stuff like that. And you can click quick start to get started here. And it's going to open a new tab and it's going to tell you which servers and things like that, stratums to use. So depending on your location, you'll choose the one for GPU, obviously, because Kapow is GPU only mineable right now. And this is for like the nice hash, so you don't have to worry about that. If you're just straight up using your GPU with a third-party software, that's going to be your stratum URL right there that you enter in, just in your batch or command file. And then make sure you have a Raven coin wallet, obviously. Then you scroll down and they have like mining softwares all ready to go with 2 miners, so you really don't have to do much editing. You just have to really change the wallet address to make sure it's going to your wallet. And the cool thing about 2 miners overall is that you can be paid out in BTC. If you mine Ethereum Classic, Raven coin, or Ergo, you can be paid out in BTC. I believe they show that you can either find a video on it, or if you click on up here, it'll show you how to get paid out in BTC, which is Bitcoin. So if you want to be paid out in Bitcoin, you can go ahead and do that route, or you can just be paid out with Raven coin or Ergo or Ethereum Classic. They're going to be bringing this to other coins over time. It's just it takes a lot of programming in the back end of things. So they're slowly implementing it with each different type of coin. That's really starting to take off, especially post-merge here. But yeah, overall, 2 miners is not a bad like pool to use. I've used it a lot in the past with my full rig setup. So if you scroll down a little bit here, like on the news section, you can find the 2 crypto calculator. And this is going to tell you your profits for 2 miners. This one is directly made by the 2 miners people. That's why it's called 2 crypto calculator. So that way you can check to see. So for example, I have 2 1060s, and then I have a 1650. Oh, only one of those. So it's going to tell you your profits. So as you see, obviously there are 2 versions of the 1060 with different amount of memory. So if mine's a 1060, which it is with the 3 GB memory, which it is, you're not able to mine coins that are highlighted in the red. And this will go for any one that you punch in. If there's different models, it's going to tell you which ones you can and can't mine. So if I scroll down, as you see, neoxa is a thing I can mine with a 3 GB, just because it's so new, it's so fresh, that there's not a lot of competition, so these lower end cards can go ahead and get into it. But Raven coin is not something I can mine because it's very well known. There's a lot of competition, a lot of miners on there, and it can't be done by 3 GB cards. Nor can Firo or Zcoin. And like I said, you can scroll down and you can see Ergo can be. So whatever has this red line, it can't be done by my 3 GB card. But for example, if I just ran my 1650, so we'll just take that away. These are like the 4 GB algorithms that are totally fine, that it can be totally done. And then if you remove that, and let's just say I'll show you for like 3 GB, I have 2 1060s. So these are going to be my options for 3 GB. So obviously it just varies on like the type of card and how new your card is, how much gigabyte you have on it. And that's always been said for mining. I'm just trying to show you guys that there are options out there post-merge. So this is going to just punch in whatever model you have, AMD or NVIDIA, and it's going to tell you that. Or you can go by current profit or last 24 hours. I usually use last 24 hours as it's a bit more stable in my opinion. But that's pretty well it for 2 miners. We'll jump over to Rplant pool, and I'll show you a few more smaller projects on there that you can go ahead and mine with lower end cards. So if we come over to Rplant pool here, this is another bigger pool, kind of like 2 miners, where just a lot of like the newer coins get listed here, where 2 miners is a lot more of like the built projects, the more solid based projects. This pool lists a lot of newer coins, a lot of smaller algorithms, a lot of smaller coins, CPU and GPU mineable, so you get the best of all worlds here. This is just where a lot of the hash rate is compared to like Zerg pool or Z pool. No offense to them, they're solid pools, but Rplant is going to be like a main pool. You can always check mining pool stats to make sure that like hash rate is balanced out with whatever coin you are planning to mine, because like I said in the past, you want to make sure that's below 40 or 50% for each pool, so that way it doesn't become like centralized in one pool, and it's just for security purpose as well. But if you look on the left hand side here, there's just going to be a list of different coins. You can also look at it right here on the dashboard, but it's kind of easier from the side here. One coin I suggest is a good like solid project that I've been like mined for a while now and been a part of, like as in like the Discord. I've been there since it started. I've kind of just been involved, like not involved in the way where it's like I'm helping out and things like that, as involved as like a minor aspect of things is Avian, because they have a really solid CPU mineable like algorithm, which is Minotaurx, I believe that is. It's the same like type of algorithm as like CoinCash. So it's always going to be mineable for even lower end GPUs, or sorry, CPUs, because this is like the CPU part of it. But if you are using a GPU, you can use the X16RT, which is really friendly with graphics card and less power intensive. At one point, this was as profitable as Ethereum mining, which was Avian mining, and that just may come back once the bear market's done and once this price point jumps up a little bit more. You might see Avian be like the next project to go ahead and mine. I'm just saying that from my perspective of things and what I've seen over like the years that this project has been around, and when I've been a part of the Discord, and I've always been calculating like rates of coins and things like that. And Avian seems to be, it was at one point, like I said, as profitable as Ethereum. So it's a good project. It's not so power intensive, doesn't produce much heat for your graphics card. And I believe you can even use the 3 GB graphics card on the X16RT algorithm, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a good project all around for those reasons. You can use lower end CPUs, but this is one of the projects I do recommend if you are looking to use more of a budget friendly machine, or GPUs or CPUs, any of the sort. If you scroll down a little more, I recently just made a video on this, but Kaka coin, it's on the Conceal algorithm. So obviously you need like a 4 GB card or higher, unfortunately. You might be able to get away with a 3 GB depending, just like we went over with neoxa. It just really depends on if there's a lot of difficulty, a lot of mining hash rate, what you're going up against really. Because if it's, like I've said already, if it's a newer project, you can use the lower end cards. I did that with Avian when it first came out. I was mining blocks and blocks with my GPU setup with my 1060s and 1650s. So if you are interested in that, I have a full video on the Kaka coin if you want to check that out in its own. If you scroll down, obviously you can mine neoxa here. For a CPU friendly coin, Quoj coin is another good one as well. It's very CPU friendly, not so power intensive. It's on the Yeescripts R16 algorithm, if I'm not mistaken. So it's very CPU friendly in that manner. And if you scroll down a little bit more, Tizen's on here, and I've made a video on that when it comes to CPU mining. So a lot of these coins are CPU based. You can use GPU mining on like Quoj coin or Tizen, but it's not going to be as profitable as a CPU because they're more CPU driven coins. But I just like to give these pools as an option for you guys for like the post merge. There's also Raptorium. But you can go ahead and go through all these coins and look up more like about these coins if one of them kind of intrigues you. But I just kind of wanted to bring you here just for like the Avian part of the website here. So you can go ahead and mine Avian here, as they don't have it over on 2Miners here. But if you're looking for something that's more developed or more of like a solid project, 2Miners is going to be your go-to for a lot of these, because like I said, they only take on solid projects, something with a profit, something with the community, where Rplant just goes ahead and lists a lot of like the newer coins, random coins. Same with Zpool and Zergpool, because they're like, I forget what you call it, like an auto conversion pool. So they just have to list a bunch of them in order to make it so people can convert and use lower end GPUs and CPUs and things of the sort. But yeah, let's say for example you want to go ahead and start mining Avian here. You can scroll down, and if you're going to have a few options, this is going to be for whichever one you do click on. You're going to have 4 options here: miners, stats, my miner, connect. If you want to get set up and ready, you just click connect, and it's going to tell you which miners are supported and which ones are best to use when it comes to whichever coin or whichever project. So Wild Rig Multi is going to be your go-to for GPU, and it's always going to tell you which hardware that you can use. So X16RT is just GPU only. And if you scroll down here, you could select like your miner config, so you can fully select whichever one you're doing. So Wild Rig Multi, Windows, choose your nearest stratum. You can put your wallet address in, a worker name if you want it, and it's going to spit out the example here that you want to use. So most of the time I stick with using the script here. So if you have like a miner downloaded and you want to edit like the batch file or command file, this is what you're going to paste in there, and that will allow you to go ahead and start mining here at Rplant. And it's, like I said, it's the same with 2Miners. I showed you how to do that. And this is all just going through third-party software. So things like Wild Rig, T-Rex Miner, things like that. If you have the batch file and command file already, you just right-click and edit on it, and then you just paste whatever the miner script it shows, and you'll be ready to go and mining at that pool. Just make sure you're using the wallet address for the corresponding coin. But I just wanted to go over and show you guys what projects are still kicking, which ones are still kind of to keep your eye on during this post merge here. Because a lot of people keep asking questions, and a lot of like uncertainty is going around in like the market and crypto mining. A lot of people think mining is just all of a sudden ending and it's totally done. But unfortunately, that's not the case for the people that are hoping that, because a lot of people are just looking for alternatives and things to mine with their graphics card that they've invested money in. Even if they've already broke profit and stuff, they still want to keep mining because it's like a side hobby for some. It's a job for some people. You know, it's always going to be out there. And a lot of people think, oh, Ethereum's done, that's it. No, there's a lot of other potential. It's just with the bear market, a lot of things aren't profitable right now. But if you want to hold off, you can. And you can wait until things start pumping again, and that's when you can mine. But I always say to people, it's good to get in when things are low and when things are taking a hit. It's just like the stock market. You buy up when things are down low and, you know, the market itself is taking a hit. So if you're a buyer of any of these coins, it's a good opportunity. And if you're new into mining, it's a good opportunity as long as like you're not taking too much of a loss when it comes to hydro rates and things like that. But that's just my 2 cents. I've always been supportive of cryptocurrency and mining and the proof of work theory, not this proof of stake, which a lot of turning to because they feel pressured when it comes to, you know, the energy consumption and things like that, when we've already have big banks and things like that taking more energy consumption than mining ever has. Alright, so another good coin to mine if you are using like a 3 gigabyte GPU is actually the coin called Conceal. If you haven't heard about it, I've made a video about it in the past before. It's a very good coin I've made a video about in the past, and I find it's just like a good project and good development and stuff going on. But the fact is that you can mine it with 3 gigabyte graphics card because the algorithm it's on is Kryptonite GPU. It's a very power friendly algorithm, as long with like not heat intensive or anything like that. And the upside is also you can mine, like I said, on 3 gigabyte cards and higher. So if you're looking for something within that range, Conceal is a good project with lots of potential, I find. So with Conceal, you have to use the pool Herominers. You don't have to, but this is one I found that seems to be the best when it comes to solo or pool mining. So what you want to do is when you get on the website here, you're going to scroll down and it's going to show you all the information, like the network information here, the pool mining, the solo mining. So you can see what the rate of everything is and what the payout is, the intervals, how much is actually like efforts being done, how many blocks are found, what time, and things like that. I've explained this in my actual tutorial video for that, so you can check that out if you are interested. I'm just quickly going over it here. And if you scroll down, this is where you can enter like your hash rate. So if you know your hash rate for Kryptonite GPU, it'll tell you how much you're going to earn. And then once you are mining here, you can check your address right here. But to get mining here, it's fairly simple. The start is right here, so it's going to tell you how to actually get started. Or you can click right here on the start, and it's going to bring you here with all your different mining servers, so all your stratums. So depending on your location, they have a wide variety. You can get started if you're in Canada, if you're in USA, India, Australia, anywhere. And then it's going to give you your connection details and how to set that up. And then of course with solo mining as well. And it's going to give you different miners here that are best to use when it's mining Conceal and when mining the Kryptonite GPU algorithm. I believe you can also use T-Rex miner, if I'm not mistaken, to mine Conceal, or which is Kryptonite GPU. So either way, you have an option of miners when it comes to that. And like I said, this is going to be the pool you're going to use. But overall, I find it's very just friendly when it comes to graphics GPU mining in a sense, because you can use lower end graphics cards like 3 gigabyte and higher. So just keep that in mind. So if you do have like a mining rig and all that set up with 3 gigabytes or higher, you can go ahead and start mining Conceal if that's something you're interested in. It's been pretty steady on the charts, but like I said, that's something you can do. And if you're looking for other coins here, you just click pools and it's going to give you a list of coins. If you want to look at some other ones on Kryptonite GPU, or if you want to try Raven coin here, or any of the ones I've mentioned in this video, can also be mined over here on Herominers, at least most of them. So if you are interested in that, you can use the Herominers pool. Like I said, there's always a mass amount of pools when it comes to these, so it's always good to spread out the network hash rate. But yeah, I just quickly wanted to throw this one in here. I just forgot about it when I first recorded the video, so I figured why not go back and just record it and add it in here, so that way you guys are aware of this pool. I've made videos in the past with this pool, so hopefully, you know, it's something you guys already know. If you have any questions or concerns, as usual, just hit the comments down below. But again, Kryptonite GPU is the algorithm, and that's going to be very friendly to your GPU algorithm. at least in my opinion and from my experience. I've mined this tons in the past, so it's good overall in my sense. But that's just my take on it. If you're more of an Ethereum miner, of course, you can stick with your Ethereum type coins or Kapow coins or anything of the sort. This was just a suggestion that I thought of after the fact of recording the main part of my video. And I may have a video coming out that talks about how the Ethereum proof of stake is actually not what it's turning out to be, and it's becoming like a centralized coin. So if you guys want that, just let me know, and I will definitely make a video on that. I have a few articles explaining, and we can go in depth, and I can show you guys that since Ethereum has switched to proof of stake, it's not what it's turning out to be, and it's actually hurting Ethereum more than what people thought it was going to do. People thought it was going to go proof of stake, and it was just going to take off. But that's not the case. Like I said, even with miners, a lot of people are turning their backs to Ethereum because nothing really changed, and now it costs even more money. I've heard it costs upwards of like 32 Ethereum to even stake. So that's like 50 grand per se. I believe that's what it is, give or take, depending on the price point. So even if you want to get involved with the proof of stake, it costs way too much. So a lot of people are still sticking with the old proof of work theory, and that's going to be your most secure way when it comes to a lot of projects and things of the sort. Just to give everyone some options if they decide to go ahead and mine, these two are two good pools to use if you are looking for solid projects and things to kind of just change up in mine. If you want to switch through a few of these different ones to see what like luck is better for you, because if you have like a whole bunch of like, let's say like 3 GB cards, Ergo is going to be your go-to. If you have a bunch of 4 GB cards, Ravencoin or Ethereum Classic is going to be your go-to. So I'm just trying to bring in a wide range of coins and algorithms to help everybody. But that's all I got for you guys today. So if you want to check out 2miners.com, go right ahead. Or if you want to check out pool.rplant.xyz, go right ahead. You can also check mining pool stats, and I'll bring up all pools for whichever coin that you are wanting to mine, or whichever algorithm. That'll bring up a whole list so you can see and try a different pool if you want. It just really depends on how much hash rate is everywhere. But again, that's all I got for you guys today. If you did enjoy or this brought some information to you, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as it lets me know that you guys are getting information. These videos are helping you out. You guys are enjoying it. But I hope you all have an amazing day. And this is Krebsy Crypto signing out.